2 News at 11 starts now.
Our earlier freezing rain has thankfully moved out. Right now we're getting snow up north and the weather is still making travel difficult, even dangerous in parts of the area. Tonight we have live team coverage for you straight ahead. And oddly enough, in some places it's actually getting warmer right now. And we begin with Chief Meteorologist Brian Davis with a first look at your Storm Team 2 forecast.
That's right, Mark and Katie, as expected this evening, but that temperature is going to be turning around, start heading the other direction here very shortly. And here's an image tonight from up in West Liberty, the southern part of Logan County, just about northern Champaign County there from Sherry, and you can see all the ice on the trees up there. Looks like a good 2/10 to maybe 1/4 of an inch of ice and some of that freezing rain that fell. Most of the reports we've had tonight anywhere from about 1/1500ths of an inch to about 1/4 of an inch of ice. And tonight we're tracking a little bit of snow in the northern Miami Valley, as you mentioned there. Looks like some moderate snow showers as you head on up into Logan County and up into Champaign counties, and still some light snows back west towards Greenville, Piqua, and Sidney. Nothing real heavy here, and as you can see, this is all moving east and southeastward, and still may see a couple of flakes of snow even down here in the Dayton area as we head through the overnight hours. Temperatures tonight already heading back down below freezing in the northern part of our viewing area. 30 degrees at Salina, 32 in Minster. We still have the winter weather advisory out. Watch out for ice. Our winter weather index is low, but watch out for that ice in the morning that's left over from the precip tonight. But otherwise, temperatures tomorrow moving above freezing. Details in your Storm Team 2 forecast.
The freezing rain is over, but it did cause problems for drivers tonight. Brooke Moore continues our live team coverage.
Katie, right now we're here in Kettering, and I can tell you it is windy and extremely cold, and that could possibly cause that earlier rain to refreeze overnight. An ugly layer of ice greeted the people just getting off work in downtown Troy.
I'm having a blast.
I hate it. I can tolerate it for a while, but eventually I got to go south or something.
Clearing off the car until it's drivable is only the first step. Then comes navigating the icy roads.
Your best bet is just to stay home. If you don't have to go out for any reason, just stay home.
Ray Keaton, the senior vice president at AAA, says with freezing rain and ice, there's very little you can do to control your car. Icicles hanging from the bell outside the Tibb City Fire Station showed how quickly everything was freezing. Because of the conditions, Keaton says the AAA Center brought in extra dispatchers and increased the number of trucks on the road.
It takes us longer to get to the calls. So any calls that we would be servicing tonight, it's going to take longer for the service truck to arrive.
On a night like this, Keaton says they could expect anywhere from 150 to 175 calls. That's 3 times as many as what dispatchers would normally take. That's why they hope you'll take your time as we all bear down for the final month of winter.
But I'm glad it's getting warmer because that means I can go golf soon.
Because of all the freezing rain we saw earlier, the AAA experts say it's a good night to lift those windshield wipers off the windshield if you have to leave the car outside to avoid any trouble in the morning. Reporting live in Kettering, I'm Brooke Moore, 2 News, working for you.
And our crews in Logan County say what started as snow soon switched over to freezing rain and then just rain. And as Robert Lowry explains, it added up to a very slippery drive.
Well, the biggest thing folks up here in Logan County are going to have to deal with is underneath that layer of snow they got up here is going to be some slush and ice right underneath that. I'll show you a little bit of what I'm talking about. You can see the snow here where we walked on the sidewalk here. Wipe that away. There you can see some of that slush already coming up. And also you look on the roads, you got that same slushy mix on the roads. That's going to be a concern for people as they're driving around that could easily freeze overnight.
Just as fast as it is falling, it's sticking to vehicles and the roads. Logan County getting hit with a wintry mix, much to the dismay of its residents.
I would rather have the snow.
Yeah.
Not the sleet, not the ice, no rain at 20-degree weather.
It's certainly putting some extra strain on Tanya Kieran. Not only is she out shoveling the snow in front of her work, she also has to walk home in it.
Yeah, it's a struggle.
A struggle on drivers as well, just trying to get home from work. Ice starting to build up on practically everything.
The roads have been pretty bad today.
And it's certainly not the condition Chad Heater was eager to see.
When the weather gets this bad, I just watch a lot more. I'm a little bit more Lenience on what I do, watch what's around me.
And another concern for anyone who has to go out there and shovel and push all this snow, you can see it's that mixture of ice and snow out here. See a little bit of it right here forming. That's going to be a cause for concern going into the night on the roads, also on any parking lot. So definitely, if you have to drive anywhere out there, take your time. One of the main concerns we saw on 68 was that mixture, and we'll be able to keep track of all of that information for you, let you know about any accidents, any of those road closures on our website, WDTN.com. Reporting, Robert Lowry, 2 News, working for you.
And stay with 2 News for continuing weather coverage. 2 News today will have weather and traffic updates starting at 4:30 a.m.
The first phone call the Moraine city manager received regarding a Chinese company interested in the old GM plant was last April. Well, fast forward to today, not even a year later, it's the future site of Fuyao's first North American automotive glass manufacturing plant. The company is not wholly new to the United States. There's a distribution facility in Michigan. We decided to drive the 250 miles for you to Orion Township, just north of Detroit, to see the impact Fuyao has had on that community.
I'm jealous. I'm really excited for the Dayton area. Hey there.
Chris Barnett is the supervisor of Orion Township, a humble, hardworking town of 35,000, he says, that began as a vacation getaway for city dwellers in Detroit. Like Moraine, the auto industry has deep roots here, and the recession hit this area hard. However, Barnett says things are looking up.
We're seeing housing growth like we haven't seen in years.
He credits the housing boom to job creation by companies like Fuyao. Unlike Moraine, Orion Township still has a General Motors assembly plant, but he says the area was still desperate for jobs when Fuyao opened in 2008.
I mean, anytime you have a company that starts with one job in the downturn of the worst economy of my life and turns around and creates, 120 new jobs, it's a huge win for our community.
Lunches do depend on these businesses.
Rhonda Pritchard is the general manager of Palazzo de Bacci, an Italian restaurant across the street from Fuyao.
Almost every day you will see somebody from that company. Not just one, but 2 or 3. They also use us for if they have meetings all day in the office, they will take out large carryouts.
She's worked at the restaurant for 10 years and says a sense of security has finally returned to her and her staff.
That they're going to have jobs and continue to make money and maybe more. They have the potential of making more.
The potential here at home as Fuyao settles in is exciting to Moraine City Manager David Hicks.
It doesn't fill up the whole building, and we're replacing several thousand jobs with 800. So it isn't exactly the same, but it is exactly what we were hoping would happen.
Here are the facts. The city of Moraine depends on revenue from income taxes. That's why Hicks says the 800 jobs Fuyao is promising and the $32 million payroll is so attractive. When GM left town, so did a lot of workers. Moraine experienced a drop from $19 million in income tax revenue to about $12 million last year. Hicks says the city workforce has shouldered the majority of cutbacks, reducing staff from 157 to 105 city employees who are on 36 hours pay.
Eventually we're going to recover and be back to happily working 40 hours a week, and things will be back to normal.
Never wanted to wave that white flag.
No, absolutely not.
So which portion of the GM facility will Fuyao occupy? The city manager tells me this right here, about 1.5 million square feet on the north section. I asked for the plans to give you a better idea.
And then they're going from that northeast corner all the way over to Springboro Pike, which will give them the area where the rail comes into the building, and then south. And then they haven't told us exactly how far south yet.
Here's an illustration of what the building is expected to look like. Fuyao chose Moraine over a number of other cities.
There's no question we were trying to court them here in Oakland County.
We'll take the win and hope it translates into even more opportunities.
I know the impact that Fuyao's had in our community, and multiply that times 7 or 8 or 9, and it's going to be, it'll be an amazing impact on the Dayton area.
And we know you are curious about the jobs and when the hiring will begin. I asked our partners at the Dayton Business Journal. They say Fuyao will start hiring management in May and the workers towards the end of the year. To learn more about the design and feel of the Fuyao buildings, visit WDTN.com and click on this story. Well, the freezing rain is done for the night, but some snow could linger. Your complete Storm Team 2 forecast is straight ahead.
And stay tuned because Jimmy Fallon makes his Tonight Show debut right after 2 News. His guests will include Will Smith and U2 coming up after us at midnight.